My wife and I just reached our 11-year wedding anniversary. And even though we've been together for 17 years, this one is big. In fact, the next one's going to be big. And the one after that's going to be bigger and bigger. You see, the relationship that you have with your significant other is one of the biggest financial commitments that you're ever going to make. The person you're with can literally make or break you. It could drive you to bad financial habits, or it could help you thrive by supporting growth and learning and discipline. In this video, I'm going to break down 11 ways to essentially help your marriage. And yes, this is financial advice. Hey, what's going on? This is Maoli Vodi with Financially Present, your one-stop shop for financial and investment education. And today I'm really just going to break down 11 ways to invest in your marriage. I know for me, I'm happily married, and my investment in my marriage is something that continues to pay dividends tenfold at least. And we're going to break down a few of those different ways. Starting with number one, don't diversify. This is probably the only time you're going to hear me say this. I want you to put all of your eggs in one basket. And what I mean by that is when you have your relationship with your spouse, that means your friends, your coworkers, your parents, your kids, even all of these different relationships that you have need to find a way to point you back closer to your spouse. You have to work together. You have to love on each other more. But ultimately, if they are getting in the way or they are diverting your attention away from your spouse, you have to find a way to reconcentrate your efforts back into that. So double down on that relationship. I have female friends, coworkers, associates, but I keep it that way because if it were more than it is, then it would not help me glorify my marriage. And I have to, in order to keep a happy home for me, an enjoyable home for me, is continue to focus on my marriage. So at the end of the day, don't diversify when it comes to your relationship with your spouse. It should be a very unique experience. Number two, read books about marriage. This is something that's worked very well for me. In fact, the first book I read, even before I got married, was The Meaning of Marriage by Tim Keller. Rest in peace to him. He just recently passed away. And this book is a timeless book about how useful, how the relationship within a marriage is such a unique and valuable relationship to how you represent Christ in the church. So at the end of the day, there are different books and other resources that you'd be able to read that can be very, very helpful to your relationship. And it gives you some additional perspective, especially when you have the experience of people who are much older than you in these books. So another book I would recommend is Husband in Pursuit, a 31-day challenge to loving your wife more. And there's actually a book for all the women, this Wife in Pursuit, 31-day challenge for loving your husband better. And those books are written by Ryan and Selena Frederick. And that challenge it's an amazing book or challenge in a way to just refocus, recharge. And I think it was a very good read, and I'm hoping to do it again sometime soon. Another recommendation or book that I found very valuable is Marriage Be Hard by Kevin and Melissa Fredericks. So this is a fun book by a comedian and his wife where they wrote it together collaboratively, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And there's a lot of comedic relief, but there's some things that you can really relate to. But there are so many different books out there, and I'd actually like recommendations from you because at the end of the day, I think reading these type of books are a great way to rededicate your relationship to each other. Number three, prioritize date nights and get creative with them. Okay, so my wife and I, we both work full time. We have 2 kids. We do things on the side. We have all types of just things that keep us busy regularly. We even coach their sports. And at the end of the day, we have to find a way to refocus, recharge on each other so that we can just be more re-energized. And what better way to just make sure you ensure a date night in your busy schedules. So whether it's once a month or maybe a couple times a month if you're blessed, definitely do that, make time for that, because it just continues to pour additional water and give life to that plant that you are growing together, basically. I know for us, we like going out to restaurants and trying new places together, because it is like a little adventure, but we can't always do that. And the pandemic really helped us understand some creative ways to do indoor dates. And we also realized we really like doing puzzles together. You actually can be very competitive while doing a 1,000 piece puzzle. Imagine you're forced to be in the house and you're working on something collaboratively, but you find a little competition, amongst yourself. So you grab a nice adult beverage and do a puzzle after the kids go to bed, and you find yourself having the conversation you've been meaning to have all along, or you're just forced to work together. And it allows for more organic, just an organic experience. So I challenge you to say, hey, buy a puzzle. It doesn't cost much, and see, at least try it once. Number 4, make allowances for each other's changes or growth. Okay, so who we are now is much, much different from who we were when we met as 18-year-olds in college. Okay, so we've seen each other go from kids without jobs to adults with kids. We've gone through career changes, hobby changes, just look changes, all types of things. And ultimately, you have to be understanding of that and be willing to accept each other unconditionally. And that's a part of growth that we all have to wrestle with, okay? Nothing is static. So whether it's, just changes in just life, you have to be ready for that. Changes in opinion. I know for us, I remember when we first started dating, she used to mention something about 6 kids. She wanted a really big family. And here we are 2 kids later, and I think we are both completely content and understand that we are blessed enough to have what we have, and we are thankful, and we're good. So just be ready for changes in opinion, changes of just different things, our learning and growth, and be ready for that. Number 5, you have to give each other space. Okay, we can't possibly do everything together, and I think that works very well for us. We have times where we're very independent, so there's times where I'm out doing my own thing, whether it could be just out going to the store or doing yard work, and I got my music in and I'm listening and I'm creating my own space away, or she may be out running some errands and taking care of some things like manicure, pedicure, all of these different things. But ultimately, you have to make time to be away from each other, and it makes it that much better when you rejoin and reconnect. So we have friends that, she can go off and do her thing. She can be with her friends, and the kids are taken care of. I'm perfectly fine. I'm busy, and we all are in our own spaces so that we can rejoin back. And it creates something so beautiful because we have a break from the norm, and it allows us to come back recharged. Number 6, don't put all of your business on social media. Okay, and I know this is weird because I'm even doing this video, but there isn't that much of a gain in having everyone anywhere know all of your business and your goings and comings. There's a specific aspect of keeping your relationship private that makes it unique and precious. If there's something of value, you don't necessarily leave it out in the open. You somewhat protect it. You build a fence around it. You might have, a way that people can see it in a sense, but it's not completely blocked off, right? And it's not completely open. Ultimately, you may see us post things about the family and the kids, but it's not always about everything. No one should be able to know every single thing about your relationship. It needs to be guarded. Anything precious has to have some level of security around it. So I would encourage you, if you feel that everything has to be posted on social media, no, not always. There are times where you may not see pictures of me. There's times where I take social media breaks. It tends to be most weekends, actually. But ultimately, we tend to keep something that we value private. One of the main reasons for that is that in just being transparent, it's none of anyone's business. Not all of our business should be everyone's business. No one should be able to take everything they see online and be able to piece your whole life together, at least not all of it, right? I know social media gets a little bit hairy, but at the end of the day, it helps us with allowing our relationship to thrive. It gives us more of an opportunity to be present with each other or present with our kids and our family. And we just don't want to have everything out there to create any level of division or dissension. So what do you do in your relationship to help last through the good times and the bad times? What do you do differently? Let me know in the comments below. So there are plenty of others. In fact, I have 5 more, but I have to do it in a separate video. So let me know in the comments below how you keep your marriage fresh or how you invest in your marriage. And stay tuned for the remaining 5 ways that I have for you. If you like this video, I want you to share it with a friend, hit that like button, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And then don't forget to turn on notifications so that you don't miss out on future content. So until next time, stay present.